Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin Moore, and I am the founder of Project Divergent. And today we have Mrs. Lisa Liptak, who was one of my teachers back in high school. So how long have you been an educator?
I taught for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I
Wait,
just retired this past summer.
that's awesome. And you're going to school for nursing now, which I know is really hard.
Yes, I am going to get a second bachelor's degree in nursing.
Let's go. That's so awesome. So have you been doing special education for all those 25 years, or did you do like a mix?
No, just strictly did special education. I only had my special education certification. So that's what I did for 25 years.
That's awesome. So
Thank you.
we're always also an aide, and that's how I got to know you, because you were my aide in my English class and a couple other classes. So you kind of get to see how special education kids work with like general education kids. Have you ever seen any jealousy or tension happen because these special education kids will get more attention from the aide?
Yes. Okay. And first of all, let me clarify, special education teachers are not aides.
Sorry, I worded it wrong, but
That's okay. That's just something that, like when a special education teacher is considered an aide because they're in regular classes, that kind of rubs them the wrong way. But yes, I have had a lot of pushback from regular ed teachers because the kids felt more comfortable coming to me, because I would give them more of my attention. Not that I would ever give the students help that they did not need, because you know me, I always pushed you guys to do the best you can and at your own ability. But yes, I did see that a lot throughout the 25 years.
Oh, wow. So what is like one of the worst things that you've ever seen with school bullying? Because since you had a lot of special education students that were always very comfortable coming to you with their problems. I know I've had my fair share of coming up to you with my problems. We were very comfortable with you. You were like a mother figure to us. But what do you think would be one of the worst stories?
Of students getting bullied?
I would say so, yeah. Because I
Okay.
think there's a lot, especially where we come from.
Yeah, there's so many different stories. Just bullying in general, I would have students be singled out and called names because the other students knew that they were in the special ed program. I've also had special ed students that weren't mine, that would also come to me, that were in like the life skills classrooms, that students would make them do things that were not ethical or moral because the student didn't know better.
Yeah, I know that some kids were really awful, the life skills students. Like there was the one kid who, I believe his name was like Gino or something like that. He got bullied all the time and it was so bad.
Yes. And
because like he would always tell kids not to swear, and then the other kids would be like trying to defy him, and it's like there's no point in trying to argue with him. That's not cool. Just
yes. And
nice.
sometimes I had students that felt bullied by teachers as well because they were being treated differently, and the regular teachers would always have that stigma of, we have to follow this piece of paper, this IEP,
Right.
And not see the student as an individual, but see the student as a document.
Right. And I've definitely felt like that before in Freedom, and especially like my sophomore year when we had those forums and stuff.
Yes.
That I was so confined to this piece of paper. I can definitely see where that comes in.
Yes. And then I almost feel like the special ed student starts to conform to that, right. Instead of using all their strengths and abilities. Then they're like, well, if the teacher's only going to see me for what's on this piece of paper, that's what I'm going to do.
Right. I honestly feel like sometimes the IEP felt like such a setback because of how it was utilized in schools. But honestly, I don't know how to word it, but Yeah, no,
Yes,
it wasn't never really the student's fault. It was usually like sometimes the teacher would see it the wrong way and not realize, hey, this person is more than this government issued thing.
yes, exactly. I always felt that the regular ed teachers shouldn't even know which students were in special ed and allow the students to do what they can at first and then wean in the accommodations.
Right. I know that at one point they had it in MMS where the student with accommodations had their name in red because I was
Yes,
about it in middle school, I think.
yes, I was so mad.
So they know.
I actually made them take that away.
Thank you.
You're
Like,
so welcome.
honest to God, thank you. I hated that so much.
That was awful. That really was. Because I'm like, no, this is a person. This isn't a special ed student. This is a person just like, Jimmy Jones and Sally Boo,
Right. On a lighter note, because I know that there's a lot of negativity and bullying when it comes to being a special ed student, but have you ever seen something on the contrary that was someone being nicer to a special ed student and treating them like a person and actually being positive about the experience, if that makes sense?
Yes, yes. I did have a lot of teachers that I worked with that were very just, I don't know, just did not change the way they did things, no matter who they had in their classroom or who the student was, or because every student, no matter if they have an IEP or not, has strengths and weaknesses. Some are a little bit more noticeable than others. Some can, really get around their weaknesses better than others. So I had teachers that, well, I actually worked with teachers that used to be special ed teachers, so that helped out a lot too.
Right.
Yes.
I had a fair few that I really liked in high school, especially all the teachers I had my senior year were the best.
Yes.
There were some that were very like on the miss part of hit or miss, but I know my senior year was just a few examples I can think of. And then
yes,
awesome. I loved Gia.
Oh yes, she is so wonderful.
We still talk to this day, and she's so funny. I love
That's great. I know. I still keep in contact with them.
I was gonna say you and Gia, I think I talk to the most.
That's good. That's good.
One thing, I know this will probably be a harder question because there's so many teachers and administrators that can't even answer this question on a general basis. But what do you think can be done by others to try and like lessen or end the disability stigma surrounding these students?
Well, first of all, like I said earlier, they need to get away from the document. They need to get away from the piece of paper. They need to, because no matter, like I said before, no matter what, every student in every classroom has strengths and weaknesses. So I feel that they need to individualize within their classroom, because you could have an honor student that is struggling with something that a student with an IEP does not struggle with.
Right.
And so it goes both ways. It's just the way the person comprehends things, perceives things, learns things. It's also how they were brought up, their values, their morals. So I just think that each teacher needs to see a person as an individual and not as a piece of paper or as an honor student or as a low income student, just as an individual in general.
That's a good way of putting it, especially since so many kids, especially at our school, were grouped based on what they can do, what they can't do, what their personalities were like, what they did in school. And you never saw someone as a person when we were at school. Like there were people that obviously I got really close with, but the low income students and the disability students, there were so many people quick to write them off as these like juveniles. And I got to see both ends of all the honors kids I got to know pretty well. I got to know the low income and the disability students pretty well. And so many people will write them off as, oh, the honors kids are stuck up and rude, or oh, the kids with disabilities are stupid and constantly getting in trouble. And it's not the case at all.
Yes, I agree.
100% agree with you on that.
Yes. And I mean, I also feel that like even with graduation ceremonies, they have, I understand you have the valedictorian and valedictorian, but like they, people have like these different strings that they wear around their neck. I believe that every single graduate should have a string of some sort.
Right.
Every single person has a strength in some area. If it's just socializing, if it's work ethic, if it is, just being a helper, just being compassionate, there is a strength in every single person. And I think that should be recognized.
Right. I remember busting my butt to get this stupid string. I still have it, but I think it got like tethered at the end. It was all messed up. One thing I do remember about graduation is there was the CTC students, and they had strings from when they'd go to their competitions, and I don't know what they're called, but I remember that they were really close to not letting the kids wear them. And so many kids, including my friend Gina, was like, they started a whole uproar about that. Like, why can't we celebrate our accomplishments, but others get to? Like,
yes.
Oh, it looks too close to the summa cum laude colors. And it's like, who cares? Like, they should be able to celebrate just as much as everybody else.
Exactly. And I feel that, like, and even students that cannot do traditional education, and like we had them out working and had them out doing other things, that is a strength. Their strength is work. Their strength is work ethic. And, they should have got recognized for that as well.
Right. There were so many kids that just didn't get recognized throughout high school. It was always felt like it was the same conglomerate of kids. And there were people that were so overlooked that I would see busting their butt. And I'm like, you are so like talented.
Exactly.
There were some kids in the cosmetology program that literally came to school 7 a.m, full face of makeup, looking like a literal goddess. And I'm like, they're so talented and they're getting overlooked. And then there's like the other kids who go to competitions and they'd place up in the top 5 with all these other schools, and the other schools like, but look at our school would be like, but look at this kid, they did the same thing that we've been conditioning them to do 40 times.
Exactly.
Away from their accomplishments are great too, but there's even, and also with teachers, they also tend to overlook certain teachers too. But it happened with both the students and the teachers, but I knew it always happened with the students because I always was vocal about it, saying that other kids were always treated differently from certain kids. I'm like, why can't we all just be on the same playing field?
Exactly. And I am proud of you that you were vocal about stuff like that everybody should advocate.
Like, I know I came off as a negative Nancy sometimes because I was just so tired of it.
Yes. I
even got mad because there were so many times that other teachers were recognized over you. And I'm like, she's the reason that I am 26th in my graduating class.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know where I'd be realistically without having you or Gia or the other teachers that I've had in my life. But you were like one of the most impactful, 100%.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure.
And I think one of the things that pushed me out of education is not that I need recognition for anything, because I do not, is just the political end of it, and the non-teamwork, I guess you could say. There's absolutely no teamwork, and there was absolutely a lot of cliques and in groups, I guess you could say, with 100%. Teachers and administration.
I know that there were teachers that had their dissensions and stuff, because I know that Gia got along with everybody, but I remember she would tell us stories. She never said who it was. I never found out who it was, but I know that she said that she had teachers that she was just like, I don't want to be around you.
Yes.
So, like, I wouldn't say because I don't remember exactly what she said, and I don't want to put words in her mouth, but no, like, she would talk about how she'd get so frustrated with certain teachers, and I'm just sitting there like, ooh, teacher drama.
I know. And I myself,
you guys were better at dealing with it than us, or at least like you were more like about it, while we were just like, this is BS.
I know.
Put it like in a better term than how we would say it. We're potty mouths all the time. They were so bad.
Oh, you guys were great.
And then we'd always go to Starbucks after field trips and stuff.
Oh, I miss
Care.
that. I miss taking you guys on trips. I just miss having you guys in like a, the van where you could just let loose and be your own selves. And yeah, like I miss you guys coming to my room and
those were the best days about high school. Like everything else was kind of like, this feels systematic. And when we were all equals, and that was a really cool experience too. And I did an interview with Joyce as well. That was super fun.
great.
When I post that, I'll definitely share that with you because that was super fun.
Oh, great. Good. I would like to hear that.
Yeah, her and I still talk, and she wants to invite me back to speak at Disability Mentor Day. I don't.
Oh, that's good.
But I'm really excited about that, considering when I went to speak back in my junior year, back when I was dating Dylan and everything, and we all went out to Pittsburgh, and it was so fun. And I forgot my speech midway, so I'm like, all right, time to make something up.
Oh, that's okay. But you're good at that. You're good at public speaking, so
Right.
I'm pretty sure that you did well, just even doing it on the whim.
Yeah, my phone died, and I didn't have my notes, and I was like, oh, great. This is fun. I am going to stop the recording right here. We can still talk if you want, but I am going to stop the recording right here. Thank you for everyone that tuned into this podcast. Stay golden, everybody.